Hey y'all, it's October the 25th, 2015. This is a video regarding that Oklahoma State car massacre the other day. You know what I'm saying? You probably heard about it. Alright, before I even start off, and this has nothing to do with Oklahoma, but I wanted to put this out there. That if you think that pedophilia was at all abolished with the imprisonment of a Jerry Sandusky from Penn State, and that in all likelihood that pedophilia is no longer roaming around the institution of college football and many other institutions having to deal with the upbringing of children who go unwatched. If you think that that all stopped with the imprisonment of Jerry Sandusky, well, I got bad news for you. Chances are it didn't. And I like I said, this has nothing to do with Oklahoma, but I thought I would bring that up because the truth of the matter is that I really have no interest in college football. I never had. But I did find this particular incident quite interesting, as I'm sure many of y'all did, considering the fact that 4 people died and a whole slew of people then got injured. If I understand correctly, 27 of them got airlifted. I don't know how you get that many helicopters and whatnot. I might have misheard that. Anyways, I left a link to an article, a web page, and if you look at that web page as closely as I did, you might notice some things that just are kind of weird, or things that are no longer weird and are just accepted without question here in the society that we built for ourselves, which absolutely loves college football. And one thing that I found weird, and of course as a parent to a person who's been charged with killing a whole bunch of people at one time, is what the mother said. And of course, like I said, you're going to say weird things. You might not know exactly what to say, but the mother says, if you read down to that part, it says, she says, I can't imagine alcohol being involved. She says of her daughter, she is not an alcoholic. This is just not who she is. They're going to paint her into a horrible person, but this is not her. Usually they paint you into a corner. They do not paint you into a horrible person. And I understand that you're probably very bereaved, not really talking good. Anyways, uh, I can't imagine alcohol not be or being involved. I mean, what else would be involved for one? I mean, what is it that you're trying to say about your daughter exactly? Because I would hope that alcohol was involved in something so extreme and crazy. To be quite honest with you, she says she is not an alcoholic. Trying to be merciful on this lady, but here's the thing. Here's something that you might want to think about. Um, you do not have to be an alcoholic to get drunk off your ass on alcohol and run people over. That is not the rules. Right? It says this is not who she is. Well, I hope that your daughter is not someone who goes around and mows people down in her car. I didn't really assume that she would. And let's just go ahead and skip past that part. Next thing I noticed about this particular incident, because I was actually curious, the question popped up in my head. I said, was this before or after the game? That's what I wanted to know. And of course, it happened before the game. My next question, which was obviously I already knew the answer to it, was did they go ahead and continue the game? Even though such a big slaughter just happened outside in their festivities, and of course they continue to play the game. Because see, college football is too big to fail, you guys. I imagine they thought, or some of the reason behind it would be, well, if we stop the game, people would lose their shit, and they would riot, and we'd have riots to deal with. Chances are they're actually correct. So when all these people get killed and everybody's touching, everybody's bereaved, and everybody's pretending like they care, it's not enough to stop the game, is it? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But here's the thing, though. Here's something to think about. If it had been gun violence and that many people had got hurt, how much you want to bet that Barack Obama would be there in person canceling the game? Even though nobody wanted it, he would have put his foot down and he would have canceled the shit out of that game. Something to think about. I mean, people died anyways. It's tragic. Of course they continued the game. And of course they flew the flag at half mast. You want to know why? Because they're goddamn cowards. All right, they're gonna fly their flag at half mast no matter what happens. Any little sort of thing. And I'm not saying that this is a little thing. Because of course it's a very big thing. But the thing is, they look for any reason to put their flag at half mast, which is what they did. So as that they could feel like they're concerned about all these people that died, even though they went ahead and played the game anyways. Too big to fail. Another thing you might notice, I mean, here's one thing. It's like, and I know this might sound personal, I might sound mean and cold-hearted, but you know, you're gonna see a picture of them outside by the like a telephone poles and putting, you know, little posters up saying, "Oh, I miss you. Oh, I miss you," and you know, it's terrible that you're gone. Here's the thing. Um, my condolences to all the people who lost somebody out there and who feel sad about this. You should feel sad. It's a very sad thing. But why in the world would you put memorabilia out right where that person got mowed down by a car and stuff? You wouldn't go to their room where they hung out all the time, or you know what I'm saying, go to their favorite place to go. No, you go to the place where they got mowed down, the final seconds of their life. You know what I'm saying, and that's where you go memorize them or put. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. The thing is that strikes me as just a little bit awkward. I'm not saying don't grieve for these people. I'm saying doing it in such a public fashion strikes me as weird. And another thing you might notice is, due to all this commotion and whatnot, people who weren't aware of what was going on when it did happen and the surroundings around this tragedy, their first instinct, the first notion was, oh my God, it's a bomb. That's just a little window into how afraid people are. You know what I'm saying? As soon as anything happens, they just assume it's a bomb or that someone's going around killing people. All right. Please believe Barack Obama would have canceled that game. All right. He would have canceled the shit out of that game had it had anything to do with guns. Had there been a gun in the glove compartment, that game would have been canceled. And if it wasn't canceled, how much you want to bet TSA would be filming everybody's genitalia? Everybody's genitalia out that mug, up and down. All right. Because people are terrified. This is wait, October? Yeah, it's October the 25th. 2015. Hey y'all, I also want to add this, you know what I'm saying? While you know, everybody up in high places trying to take away all our guns, why don't you go ahead and take away cars too while you're at it and stuff? Because it turns out cars can kill people just as quickly as these guns can. Oh wait, I forgot. You're already on that robot car tip. Well, why don't you take away alcohol then too, you know what I'm saying? Because people get with the alcohol and, you know what I'm saying? And people die sometimes, alright? So why don't you go ahead and ban that too? Oh wait, I forgot. Alcohol is all over commercials, and it's all over movies, and it's all over every propaganda that it could possibly be on, every medium that it can be on. Alcohol is praised, and oh shoot, you're a bad person for driving while under the influence of alcohol. You know what I'm saying, we might have to set up, you know what I'm saying, those checkpoints on you. Right? We might have to ban everything out this mug. And so, I mean, you could just see that that's the line of reason. Me personally, I'm not for banning any of these things because I realize you can ban everything, uh, including the kitchen sink. And when humans come together, you know, sometimes there's a slight possibility of many human beings dying. That just happens to be a universal fact of life. All right? It is October the 25th, 2015.